All right. We should be live now. Well, welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the August 27th, 2024 meeting of the Advisory Committee on University Records. For the purposes of the minutes, I'm going to go around and give your name to introduce you. Just say the institution that you're representing. Vicki Cooper,
Northern Kentucky University.
Jordan Conley,
Eastern Kentucky University.
Hannah Pryor,
University of Louisville.
Sue Ellen Lathrop,
WKU.
Ruth Bryan,
University of Kentucky.
Dieter Ulrich,
Morehead State University.
all right. Chris Ferguson,
Murray State University.
and Jenny Link.
KCTCS.
Welcome, everybody. So for the past few meetings, we hadn't actually approved the minutes. I hadn't prepared those, but I did send those to you for this meeting. Those should have been the meetings for the February 21st, 2023, May 23rd, 2023, November 28th, 2023, and July 9th, 2024. I sent all of those to you. Were there any issues or revisions that needed to be addressed? Okay. With that, we'll have approval of the minutes. And we'll move on to the discussion, the state university model. There were two revisions. The first, the fiscal records section, series U0245 tax forms. We have discussed this. It was a federal tax form, so we revised it just to add those state tax forms. So I think that this series will now address both of those issues. Chris had given a thumbs up. I know she had brought this issue up. So if there were anything that needed to be addressed, or will we approve that? Hearing no.
Do you need
discussion.
I was gonna say, do you need a motion? I'll make a motion.
No. I was just, if there was no issue, we'll just approve it. And that will be going to the commission in September. The second record series was the series U1709 medical records. This was brought to me by Ruth at UK. Had raised a question about the quality control assessment aspects of the record were not addressed, I guess, in the disposition. They were in the CFR. They're enumerated in that CFR. And so we added just a line to the proposed retention to retain test requisitions and authorizations for 2 years and then destroy, or no, that was there. It was the line after that. Retain quality control records, system assessment, and other analytic system records for 2 years, then destroy. So we added that, just I guess clarifying language. There was no other change to that. And I wanted to bring that to see if anybody had any issue or if that would be approved. And hearing none, I'll take approval for that. I had brought up the last point for the discussion that I had in July about going over the electronic systems section. Due to a medical issue, that work didn't get completed so that I could present it to you all for this commission. And I do apologize again, once again, just life getting in the way of getting all of these things done, but I didn't want us going over unfinished um, list of records, especially since I'm still matching them all up. And again, that work just did not get completed in time. It will be completed for our next meeting in November. It's just again, there was a short window here between the last meeting that we had there in July and here in August. So it just things caught up with me. So with that, that was the last point I had on this discussion of the state university model. Were there any other issues that people wanted to bring up?
I'm just gonna ask because it was brought to me if the other universities have had any dealings or discussions about AI generated meeting notes and transcripts. One, I know our faculty senate basically told people that they couldn't record, I think, during some of their meetings using AI, but I didn't know if we actually had any issues with that, you know, with AI generating transcripts. It's a thought to discuss. I see Ruth raising her eyebrows like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess the initial question I would have is how would it be distinguished from any other transcript of meeting minutes? You know, is it just another way that we are recording meeting minutes, and then we would follow that retention, or if there was be some way to distinguish that process? But yeah, I think that's a good question to raise and be aware of, and I'll be on the lookout for any information.
Just because AI is not always accurate in what it's transcribing. So, I mean, there would have to be some kind of quality control, which, you know, people are using as a substitute. That's a big issue.
Yeah.
I guess for me, the question, it's kind of like, Joe, what you were saying, that if there's still the process of review, like in the next meeting minutes, the previous ones are reviewed and, you know, approved, then however they were made, presumably the body is okay with what they say. So I think that would be the big question. But if the body is relying on AI as the author, as opposed to the tool, then that's, you know, that's the different thing. And if they are not going through their approval process for the content of the minutes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't come up yet.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be a number of sections where AI is going to impact our record keeping. I already see it. Well, is there any other discussion? If not, we can move on to other business. I have no announcements. If anybody else has an announcement,
I hadn't looked, but I do have a question on, it's kind of like probably the wrong thing to bring up, but on DEI and where that falls in our schedule and what records we're keeping and how we address the language. Sorry, it's like the elephant in the room right now for universities.
yes, DDI, you said?
DEI,
DEI.
big announcement by UK's president this week
Yeah.
or last week. I can't remember. It's been a week.
That's
Sorry.
no.
So how, from a records management standpoint, which is the same thing in this case as a permanent records thing, where we were already crawling most, if not all, of the UK website. And so the biggest change is the public facing sort of language of the university. and the removal of all of the words diversity, equity, and inclusion or inclusivity. And so we will do another crawl of the main seed or sets of seeds in early September to sort of document the change in the language. But, and I'm hoping that I don't know that any of the actual documentation of the decision-making process to make sort of to change the language on all the websites will ever be available in a record format, because I think it was a verbal. Most of it was a verbal decision and verbal direction for that change.
So not even any kind of like change to organizational charts or any kind of order listed.
It's not clear to me because yes, some units moved into different places, but not all of them did. And so even I have a hard time figuring out sort of what the changes actually are, you know, because the changes seem to be more about language than about structure, but maybe it is about structure too. So we'll see. Yeah, organizational charts maybe would be the best place, but not all organizational charts are available or online.
Okay. It's good to be aware of and keep an eye out for.
Is anybody else making those changes? No, okay.
There's discussions
Mm,
resulting from last week's announcements.
yeah.
All right. Well, any other business? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.